Hello everybody. So today's one probably a lot of people have been looking forward to because this is another enemy that a lot of people, new players mostly, but I've heard some veterans still having trouble with this fight, and you're going to see exactly why. Now, there's two trains of thought for this. The single player is easier because it has a lot less health, but unfortunately if you're going by yourself, it can actually be kind of more difficult to stay alive because he's only going after you and your Palico. If you're doing a true solo run, it's hell. I don't dismiss my Palico, but if you do, well, you're gonna learn that fight really quickly, or you're going to die really quickly. That's the long and short of it with the greatsword. But yeah, we're doing a little side quest here, not much. So now let's get going to get our quest. This isn't really all that important. He's just telling us a little background story for why we're going. Okay, Nergigante, what's he like? I'm going to go over the vague patterns. I don't know all of the... I know all the moves, I just don't remember all of them, I'm sure at once. He's very aggressive. And when I say very aggressive, I don't think at this point in the game we've ran across anything quite as aggressive, except possibly Odegaron, if you really lollygag around during the last phase of the fight. Basically imagine that, except for the whole fight, and then at the last 15%, it's about 2 or 3 times worse. For a greatsword user, that's my anecdotal evidence. Not very good anecdotal evidence, but that's all I got. I don't do the whole scientific thing, even though I really should. It would be far more accurate, but anyway. Okay, one, this is not normally where he is. Normally you hang a left here. I think only in this one mission do you ever go to the right here. Come to think of it, I think you could still go left and then make a turn. You'd go there a lot faster than this, and you wouldn't lose a little bit of health from the having forgotten drinking the cool drink, but whatever. God, I remember when these days when I had my item bar so messed up. It was still horrible. It was so horrible trying to find a potion mid-combat. Not like it's much better now, but at least I know where it is now. Here we go. Who's a buddy? Not him. So, here we go. Arguably one of the harder fights in the game, though once you get used to it, not quite as bad, but still very deadly if you screw around too much. Trust me, I've had my own share of screw-ups. Oh, that's just such a bad break. That was such a bad turn. Also, learn to love your panic dive if you're using a greatsword here. It will save your ass so many times. That thing, honestly, what I should have done there, I think I would have gotten hit either way because I really kind of hit the strong charge a little early. If I had delayed that, I might have been able to tackle my way through that and got a true charge, but that one was... It doesn't hurt all that much, that attack, so it's not the end of the world to get hit by the little wing flap. The danger is if you're, like, at the sides purely, you'll get air pressure, like, knocked back. So... generally people either go toward the tail or the head because it's entirely like at his sides. So a lot of people wonder as a greatsword, where's the best place to stand in this fight? Well, there is no real good place. A lot of melee people swear by getting underneath of him. I cannot recommend this as a greatsword user. A lot of his attacks hit underneath of him, and you'll see exactly why I don't recommend it later in the fight, because trust me, there'll be examples of it. I don't even remember the footage, but I can tell you that will be in that. It always is. Arguably, I really should have just went straight for the true charge here, but I figured, you know what, surely there's no way I'm going to miss this when he stands up, right? Well, you didn't miss. You just missed your target. Oh yeah, you remember when I told you that there's a lot of, well, I guess I didn't tell you that. I hope you don't have blood pressure problems like me, because goddamn, this fight will not help them. If you hate just getting stun locked to death, welcome to your worst nightmare. Anybody that's watched my channel for any length of time knows I hate this mechanic, because Nergigante loves, and I mean it gets him off by just stun locking you, and then you just kind of die. Like I said, underneath of him, I can't really recommend it. A lot of his attacks do hit underneath him, and they hit pretty hard. But yeah, he loves to hit you once, stand up, make a big, like, kind of a sucker punch thing. It's like a big wind-up, obvious, but you can't do anything because you're getting up. And then you get hit again and you die. In fact, I think, well, that's one of the harder attacks for me to recognize right there. It's not too bad if you actually pay attention, but the wind-up's kind of subtle. It's not in your face. It's just him looking at you while facing another direction. You think, was he like just resting? No, he's not resting. He's getting ready to just swipe the crap out of your feet. He's gonna sweep the legs, as it were. Yeah, I thought, well, maybe, oh hell, this attack too? Don't do what I did. At this point, for the record, I had fought him twice. Once solo. Did I solo the first Zora Magdaros mission? No, I didn't. Well, at this point, I had fought him solo once ever, and that was back in the beta, like a month beforehand of this recording. And you're basically just seeing me trying to learn this fight solo here. So, again, probably not the best Nergigante fight I've ever had. In fact, I know it's not, but hey man, we're here to watch a new player struggle, aren't we? Well, technically a new player in world at the point, but anyway. Okay, so what other attacks does he have? The big flying thing, how do you avoid it? Dive. Remember when I said dive a lot? You dive a lot. I don't give a damn if you're underneath it. It will hit you. It will hit you if you're off to the side and beneath it. It will hit you. This thing has the hitbox of God himself, okay? Don't fuck with it. Just don't even try and get, no, just don't try and get cute. While I have been able to accomplish tackling through it, it's really not smart, because if you screw up the timing even the smallest bit, you lose about 90% of your health. That's assuming you ate 50, your 50 health boost to begin with. If you didn't, you just outright die. That was wishful thinking. I didn't think the wings extended that far. They do, in fact. That was just bad aim, but I was getting frustrated. That was really annoying. As long as he doesn't turn. He turned. They always turn. The key is predicting which way it will turn, or just, not doing a lot of charging. This is a perfect opportunity here, just because I was in the right place, nothing else. Like I said, if he's doing the little tail, or the little wing thing, you get behind him. Now, contrary to what a lot of people say on, well, I know at least one site, you can hit his head without a white sharpness weapon. I know this because you have to hit him right in the forehead, but you can do it. That was such a bad luck swing right there. That true charge missed by like an inch. At least it looked like it. This, I established dominance. I get to say that, don't I? No? Well, that's what I'm going with. I looked him right in the eye and carved his tail in front of him and put it in my pocket. There's not much better ways of saying I'm better than you than that. Of course, I kind of deserved the beating I got right afterwards, but in case you haven't got the sarcasm, that's not a wise thing to do in combat. I'm not actually encouraging people to do that. Optimally, you should kind of like, I don't know, wait until he runs away and then carve it. Oh yeah, you'll get some true charges if you know what you're doing, but this is not a fight where it's true charge friendly, by and large. At least I didn't miss. If you're wondering why I didn't try and get in a better position there, you gotta realize as the greatsword user, when that thing falls down, you are on a very strict timer. I don't give a damn where you are. If you're anywhere near the thing, you start charging and just kind of go for the best, because if you try and angle yourself and get to a better position, I can tell you from experience, the thing that's most likely to happen is you get your second little tackle off, you get your third tier charging, and then it gets up and moves. So, you really just kind of want to start swinging. Because your attacks are, let's face it, we're very slow attacks. That was kind of stupid. But you can see I actually recognize the wind-up there. I'm getting a little bit better. A little bit. Incrementally. That's the way you get better. I cannot believe I either timed that right or I was not in range of it, but either way, that's... Oh my god, that's... I missed that by like a foot. To be honest, I didn't know you could actually climb those. I'd forgotten all about that. Because I never, like, do it. But that is nice to know. Usually that happens and he just brings it down, but... I guess I just taught myself something that I'd forgotten. Well... Poor Felicity. She just ate that in the face and keeps going. Felicity has more resilience than the player character does. The Palicos do. That was a Hail Mary, but to be honest, I thought that might actually work. But he went a little too far away. The Hail Marys can be awesome if you actually manage to land them, but... Well, I'm just gonna tell you, most of my Hail Mary true charges do not hit. That's why it makes it so sweet when they do hit. Okay, so I think we're about like halfway through the fight at this point. I think he goes here around halfway, maybe a little more. If you're wondering what the hell that thing is, that's a Vitality Mantle that I think I got the quest for last time. I just don't remember. But, yeah. I should have gotten interrupted there, but it didn't really matter anyway because he decides to do something that makes no goddamn sense on this Earth. If anybody can tell me exactly why he did that, besides... Screw you, I don't know. The Palico was not over there for him to go after. He just went into a wall to basically screw my true charge. I'm a conspiracy nut, but it sure as hell seemed like it. Like, if my Palico was over there throwing her little boomerang or whatever, okay, I get it. He was going to attack her, but there was no reason. None. Okay, so let's get it back onto something more tangible and provable. You notice the black... That's another attack I don't like being under him for. You notice his scales are turning black. Now, I'm not exactly sure on the mechanics. The way I understand it, and I'm probably wrong on a part of this, is the longer that he doesn't do his, like, spiky discharge attack, the blacker they get. The blacker they get, the more tough they get, so it's harder to hit something without actually, you know, bouncing. So you're kind of stuck hitting him either in the tail or the back legs. I did not think I was going to get away from that. I thought I was too close. So what that usually means is if he has a bunch of black scales, normally you want to be a little more careful because he's going to do his huge-ass attacks so that, you know, you don't get caught and then just kind of die. Usually, by and large, the clearer his scales, or rather the wider his scales, that means that you're still a ways away from the big attacks. Now, I might well be wrong. I've said it before. But to my limited understanding of the fight, because I've only fought him about 15, 20 times, I never really, to be honest, kind of paid attention to the spikes all that much, other than if they were black spikes, get the hell away from them and get ready to dive. I think, by all rights, I should have been dead there. I'm pretty sure my dive was late, but I'm not going to argue with it. If you hadn't noticed, the white spikes are, in fact, that I got too cheeky. I thought, oh, I can totally tackle this. And I was right, I could have too. But that's the danger of the greatsword. You try and get cheeky, high risk like that, high reward if you don't. Now that really pisses me off. The only reason that didn't piss me off more is you notice he roared beforehand, which put me in combat. Well, the problem is, a lot of times, he doesn't roar to put you in combat when you run back to him, so that when you go back to him, he does that big dive. The only way you can get out of it is by diving, ironically. But the problem is, I can't believe I actually hit him. The problem is that you're not in combat, so you can't dive yet, so you just kind of get hit, and there's nothing you can really do about it, unless you want to block, which I guess you could, but some weapons don't have that option, so you can kind of see why I hate this fight at times. When everything's going right, it's fantastic. When everything's going wrong, it's one of the most annoying things in the world. At least to me. Okay, so one feint, and he's limping away. You know what, for a newbie, if it's the second time ever trying to solo him, I wasn't too mad at this. I got mad like everybody. Actually, this was kind of really good and kind of really bad. Pay attention to where I was when I did this. I think I'm in the right position. Yeah, really bad because it wasn't in a weak spot, but God, I hit him with a... not even a weak spot, with a low-ranked weapon, and I still did 250 damage. I recognized he was going to roar, and I'm not mad at me trying that. I just did the timing a little bit. And that's okay. The only way you learn is by trying. It just means with the greatsword, when you fail, you just... everybody knows it because you just kind of die. I know, I go on and on about the high risk, high reward, but that's what I like, baby. There's no fun without a little risk. Unless you're doing the whole Lance thing. And then you just go, you can't kill me. And I like that. One or the other, man. High risk, high reward, or low risk, low risk, medium reward. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I like the Lance weapon, that's all I'm saying. I guess I just like to have everything, like a high risk weapon, a low risk weapon. I want everything. Like, this was me. I think did I actually do that right? Well, you see how much that hurt. It took away my entire vitality mail. That thing usually blocks a lot of attacks, so to get rid of that in one swing is pretty telling. He's getting ready to do the ground sweep, and I actually recognized it in game. I did not think at this point I'd memorized it yet. That's pretty sweet. Okay, now you'll notice I get the true charge off, and he's standing up. If I had waited to try and get to a better position, I wouldn't have gotten the true charge off. So that's why I keep saying, I'm pretty sure I was late there too. I'm just lucky the game's so forgiving today. Or that day, rather. This was ballsy, and everything went wrong. Everything went wrong. There was nothing a part of that went right. The other enemy is my item bar. You might notice me frantically scrolling from time to time. Yeah, I had no idea where any of my items were on the item bar. That, I was so happy for, and then really, really angry. Because my thought was, oh good, I kind of like staggered him. He'll just fall backwards into a perfect true charge, and the laws of physics just say, nah fam, we're gonna have him go the other way for no real discernible reason, but to screw your true charge. I swear, it sometimes does feel like that. I don't think it does. I don't think it is, but it sure feels like it. You also notice I'm not doing a lot of charging. Okay, to be honest, I was trying something there, I think. I was trying to see if he could circle around his little thing, but he has a big radius, so that's not really viable. You gotta back it up. You gotta do it unless you're, like, directly behind him, and then I think maybe you can get away with it. But usually the best thing is just to run away in that situation. You notice how aggressive he's being. He's not really letting me heal, and this can be what kills a lot of players if you're not familiar with like Dark Souls or Bloodborne or a lot of things like this where you just start, well, for the intents and purposes of this game, you start panic potioning. I'm used to calling it panic Estus. It can kill you. This is just kind of shit, but I did panic as well. The reason I tried to do that was because I thought, well, shit, dude, I don't have enough health to actually block it and live. I don't have enough time to, like, that right there. That pisses me off, right there. There's nothing I can do except block. But the point was I couldn't block before because I thought I didn't have enough health. And I didn't have enough time to panic dive because my weapon was out. So it was just kind of one of those, you die because you really shit the bed planning moments. Which is not terrible, considering it was my first attempt. Oh, you're gonna know my feelings on this fight at the time, because well, let's just say you're gonna know my feelings at the time of this recording. Looking back on it, it was kind of funny. My issues here, but hey, 2 faints for a greatsword first fight against something that aggressive is not terrible in my book. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Oh yes, my feelings on this fight at the time were pretty much like this. Also, Rowan Atkinson, one of the best actors of our generation. I have no idea his political views, and that's the way it should be. Knowing, well, either way. Yeah, that was my attitude at the time. I was not happy with that man for making me cart twice. That was the first time on camera I'd ever carted twice in any hunt. So, I mean, I guess that should tell you that carelessness will get you killed very, very quickly. Actually, that's not even an adequate way of saying it, but that's what it'll have to be for now.
Besro mamina memorina scutsiza tuki nate la turini fira
Torai, Mokitera, Itokel Nearini Haknar. Memumure, Lagmi de Kiriga, Atoto Notareho Restu.
What she has there is another boss area in the bottom of the Vale. Yeah. So, bottom line, probably the most aggressive Elder Dragon that I've come across. I mean, the other Elder Dragons are kind of aggressive, but Nergigante is like that guy that you just want to get away from the entire time, but you can't because you have to, hit him. And you know what? Probably the only reason I didn't die 3 times, and I swear to God right now, that was like the first actual attempt at a hunt at that thing. But I think the only reason I only carded twice was because of all the Dark Souls Ultra Greatsword. I think it's the only reason I got through that.
Nergigante Su Teneshir Toru Harde Yombe Lafiri Nergigantera Ira Skuku Haniri Ai Anyukure
Lara Mobi Toritome Memuda Iku Metom Torakera Mutoradio Tara Ha Memune Ine Hada Ona Nimutsira
Mem Mata Shiei Sori Namu Toase Regire Ashibemishi Ture Raku Iganure So Leto Teiri Memudai Kute Su Lare Suze Ketokyopo Luze Udiash Itiku Igaras Ramutoshi Mimo Ritomesh Dorilae Torino Letoshi Shisugirera Toto Memudaiku Kuzamura Rumuto Hatsa Kito Keda Ori.
By the way, if you're wondering why I never changed my Palico's gear for the longest time, I thought it was the cutest thing ever. I mean, I'm not trying to min-max my damn Palico. I put the armor that looks the best on it, or at least what I think looks the best on it. For anybody wondering, just saying. You gotta have some fashion hunter in there somewhere. It's not in my armor set, for God's sake, so it's gotta be in someone's. Okay, so in summary, Nergigante, you got to be very fast, and you can't be too greedy. Pretty much, I guess that's like every greatsword fight, isn't it? Well, this one's like quadruple importance on that being fast thing, because he's very fast, and he loves interrupting your healing, so don't panic heal. That's another big one, don't panic heal. There's a reason that I don't fight Nergigante much. I'll fight him if someone wants to fight him, but it's not like I volunteer, hey guys, you want to go fight Nergigante? No, I don't do that. But if anybody doesn't want to fight him, I will do so. Just saying. But that's not the Elder Dragon I'd rather farm. Let's just put it that way. Of course, everybody always farms the one that they hinted at earlier, but yeah, it's time, my friends. Time for a new weapon. Something actually high rank. So everything from here on out is only gonna get better, baby. Right here, we have what's known as a almost carbon copy of the Jagras Hacker. The only difference being that there's kind of some pointy white sticks that came from Nergigante. That's pretty much it. They really shit the bed on that one. Shame. Shame on weapon variety. I don't like saying it, but they deserve the shame for that one. But that's about it for today. You see all I need there? And that's going to be it. See you later, everyone.